All right, howdy folks. Today we're going to make another wash. This time we're going to be using 70% isopropyl alcohol as our base. Now you can get isopropyl alcohol pretty much anywhere. If you get it at like a grocery store, they'll probably get it for less than $1 for a bottle. Now this stuff is going to be probably the best you can get, but if you don't have that or can't find it, or don't want to dish out $6 for it, or want to go as cheap as possible, you can use isopropyl alcohol. Both of these were made with isopropyl alcohol. I will say that there is a little bit of sticking to the container at the bottom a little bit, but it's very little. I mean, you wouldn't really even have to shake this up. So, and it's really not even sticking to this. So it's a good compromise if you want to go, as cheap as possible. We're going to be using Cobalt Hue from Apple Barrel. So the recipe for this is pretty simple. You just kind of have to eyeball it. I fill these up right to about here. And this is just going to be my entire base. Fill it right up. Maybe a little bit more. Might have been too much, but that's fine. So here's our base. And then we're going to start out with, let's say, 4 drops of color. 1, 2, that one's stuck, 3, and 4. That's a pretty cool effect. So we're just going to shake this up. So it's still a little bit light, so we're going to add another drop. We just want to get this to where it's saturated and it matches more or less the color of the paint itself. And I think that's pretty good. Now, like all washes, we want to go a little bit on the darker side of the palette. So 8 fluid ounce from Apple Barrel. I'm going to add just a tiny bit amount. So I added just a hint of black. So now I have a dark blue wash. Typically you want your washes to be darker. And I happened to find a bit that was already primered. So we're going to test it out on this white bit. So here we are. We're going to test this out. Here's a close-up. You can tell that it's all going nicely into the recesses. Now it's a little bit more watery than you might want, but you just got to be careful with your application. So as you can see, it's all so that's probably the cheapest way you can wash your figures. This paint is 54 cents. And the isopropyl alcohol is about sometimes less than $1 for a pretty big bottle. So that's how you can wash your miniatures for less than $2.